run of the game, 8th inning, and then he came up big in the 9th.
Line drive, base hit right center. Here comes Andrews, the throw for McRae. Out at home plate.
Monday in Houston. This time, McRae, the man again. His big homer in the 9th inning, giving the Mets a win in 13 innings. On to Tuesday and a doubleheader. This time, Carlos Baerga, a new hero. A 2-run homer tied it up in the 9th inning, but Derek Bell's blast in the 12th would win it for the Houston Astros. On to Game 2. After an Olerud homer, Turk Wendell picked up his 3rd save of the year. And for the New York Mets, he had another come-from-behind win. The next night, more dramatics. Mike Piazza homered in the 9th for the temporary lead. But the Astros weren't done yet. The Astros turned on their rally caps. But Todd Hundley's homer in the 11th would put the Mets up for good. A tremendous series in Houston for New York. Last night, John Franco with a chance to close it out. But 3 runs by Florida in the 9th inning. And for the New York Mets, a chance to tie the Cubs in the wild card spot instead became a heartbreaking 7-6 loss. Today, regroup. The Florida Marlins take on the New York Mets next on 9. Masato Yoshii going for number 6 for the Mets. In the final week of a regular season, when you're battling for a postseason position, the distance between great ecstasy and outright dejection can be 1 run. For the New York Mets, that was the case last night. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne along with Ralph Kiner. It's that time of the year, Ralph, where everything that happens is in a huge spotlight, and last night it didn't shine brightly for New York.
Well, a tough loss for the Mets last night, but still 7 games left, and the Mets are 1 game back of the Chicago Cubs and 3 games up on the San Francisco Giants. So with the 7 games left, the Mets are in a position to come back and overcome the loss last night.
And go on to postseason. The games remaining, there you see the New York Mets schedule on the left, the Marlins, the Expos for 2, and then the day off and on to finish the season in Atlanta. The Cubs have the Reds today and tomorrow, then the Brew Crew Tuesday and Wednesday. They finish up against the Houston Astros. Every moment big. Ralph, for John Franco blowing that save, a tough moment, but it just goes to show, you know, that happens in April and everybody just passes it off. It doesn't get passed off anymore.
Well, it's not over till it's over, as Yogi said, and the Mets have to bounce back, and they have that type of club to do it. They have bounced back all season long. It has been a great year for the Mets. 2 more wins, and they tied last year's record.
We'll come back and take a look at what has been a great week right after this from Jaguar. Refuses to subside even as we go into the final week. I mean, the home run chase, obviously, Ralph, has been the highlight of it, but this year for the New York Mets, probably exemplified here in the last couple of weeks. You've seen a lot of baseball. This has got to be up there with some of the most exciting weeks ever.
Really great heroics in the last part of the ball game by the New York Mets. Alfonso with a 2-run home run, and that was in the 9th. Phillips with a 2-run home run in the 8th. Alfonso again with a home run in the 8th. A 2-run home run, and McRae a 2-run home run in the 9th. All of those big wins for the New York Mets.
That Houston series was unbelievable. Carlos Baerga got into it with that 2-run homer on the 15th. John Olerud, the doubleheader day, 3-run homer in the 8th inning of the ball game. Mike Piazza came away at Houston with that 3-run homer in the 9th inning, solidifying his position, I think, with the fans in New York. And Todd Hundley, maybe the most incredible story of all, the guy who wasn't even supposed to be back with his ball club, comes away with that solo home run in the 11th inning. He was supposed to have disappeared to minor league ball for the rest of the season.
Well, he did disappear down to the minors, but came back. What's more remarkable is the fact that he came back and caught. That was one of the things I didn't think would happen until next year.
1949, Pittsburgh Pirates, Ralph Kiner, this day. Any memory?
1949, a good year, 54 home runs, but I don't remember the day.
It was on this day that this man became the first National Leaguer to have 2 50-plus home run seasons. You got number 50 back in 1949.
And 51, 1947, and of course a great thrill for me. And of course with the home run race going on, Gary, between McGuire and Sosa, that's one of the great things that has happened to baseball this year.
Well, you're one of the guys who helped set the stage for that. Our own Ralph Kiner. We'll be back. Mets coming up against Florida after this. The postseason continues here at Shea Stadium. We'll keep an eye on the Cubs game. They are underway. No score, first inning in Chicago against Cincinnati. And here Masato Yoshii will make the start for the New York Mets. The 33-year-old right-hander, only one win in his last 19 starts. He has gone 1-2-2 in his last 5. He defeated Florida earlier this year. Had a no-decision game also against the Florida Marlins.
And Yoshii will be pitching to this lineup of the Marlins. Brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Luis Castillo leading off. Todd Dunworthy in center field. Our coach say the right fielder, Derek Lee at first base. Cliff Floyd in left field. Kevin Ory from the Cubs in the position at third. Randy Knorr, the catcher. Alex Gonzalez at short. And Jesus Sanchez, the pitcher.
Let's take a look at the fence for the New York Mets today with a left-hander pitching. A couple of changes in the lineup. It'll be Payton making the start in left field. Brian McRae, Butch Husky will be in right. Edgardo Alfonso, Ray Ordonez, Luis Lopez to start at second. John Olerud at first. Mike Piazza, of course, will be behind the plate. Piazza and Yoshii forming the battery. Jerry Meals will have the plate in this umpiring crew today. Tom Hellion, Jerry Davis, and Terry Tata, the umpires. A magnificent Saturday afternoon for this 4-10's first pitch as the early fall weather has arrived here in New York. It is just gorgeous. Some high clouds, but couldn't be a nicer day to play or watch the game. Take a look at some of that skyline. This is the last weekend of summer.
And also very tough on the hitters right now with that shadow in front of the pitching mound. And a good crowd on hand for this game on a perfect day.
And ready to go. Castillo leading it off against Masato Yoshii. 78 degrees the temperature here at the start of the game. Little breeze blowing out towards left field here to start the game. Yoshii got it in, and it's fouled straight back by Luis Castillo. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. For the Florida Marlins, a long road trip that they are about to conclude and head back home. 13-game road trip. They are 3-8 on the trip. They play here today and then again tomorrow afternoon. 1-1 delivery by Masato Yoshii, and the breaking ball's outside. 2-1.
The Marlins, an entirely different team from being the world champions last year. It was a wholesale trade-off and sale on the Marlins this winter.
And it has resulted in one of the most incredible turnarounds negatively for any team ever. A 75-game swing.
The worst in the history of Major League Baseball from a world championship.
They've gone from a season of 92 wins to having won only 51. They've lost 103 games. Yoshii got it in to second base. Lopez as it skipped into the glove. 1 down.
In 1914, the Philadelphia A's won 99 and lost 53, and then they traded out most of their team. They lost 4 straight in the World Series to the Boston Braves. And after that 99 and 53 season in 1914, they were 43 and 109. But the Marlins have just about eliminated consideration. This has been a disaster for the city of Miami.
Todd Dunwoody up. Dunwoody was the hero for Florida. 2-run single, tying runs. Edgar Renteria, the sac fly last night. They came from behind for just the 3rd time this year. The Marlins won a game in the 9th inning. They are 3-85, trailing after 8 this year. But you could see, Ralph, right from the beginning of last night's game, Florida Marlins had some fire in their eyes.
Well, you have that going for you when you are a bad ball club. You want to beat the one team that you need to beat, and they had a good game last night. And, of course, the Mets lost the game in the 9th inning.
Dunwoody swung on and missed. Yoshii the K. Yoshii, 110 strikeouts on the year.
And it was done with a split finger fastball or a fork ball. Ball dropping out and away from the left-hand batter, and out number 2.
Bobby Valentine's club remains a game behind the Cubs in the wild card race as we head into the final week of the season. Kotze up, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Mark Kotze comes in with a 7-game hit streak. Also, that great arm in the outfield has proven true for this youngster. 19 outfield assists. He leads the majors in assists by outfielders. 0-1 pitch, a fastball away, 1-1 to Kotze.
He was the 1995 best college player of the year, winning the Golden Spike Award, and he is a real good prospect.
And that one, John Olerud, not quite. It's a fair ball. Kotze is on his way to second. Butch Husky over on the retrieve, and he'll stop there with a double and an 8-game hit streak for Mark Kotze. Just out of the reach of Olerud. The appeal at first base is denied by the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals.
Yoshii, originally selected by Florida as their #1 choice, 9th in the nation, and showing why as he doubles down the right field line.
Mets appealed as to whether or not he touched first base. The first base umpire, Tom Hallion, had gone down the line to watch the ball, and the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals, moved up the line. Now here's the appeal again, and safe. Home plate umpire making the call. The official rule on this, let's take a look here, see whether or not he touched it.
At the inside corner.
At the inside corner, yep. The rule is, if you're going to make an appeal like that, you've got to get the ball back to the pitcher. The pitcher's got to touch the pitching slab, then step off before he throws a pitch to the next batter, and go to the base where you want to make the appeal. And that's what the Mets did right there.
And there has been times in baseball where they throw to first base or to any base they think they have missed, goes wild, and he can continue on.
Kotze is on at second base with 2 down, and Derek Lee's got an 0 for 14 going right now. He has had a big-time slump here in the month of September, hitting just 178. He's 4 for 48 with 1 home run in the month of September. That has obviously lowered that average. Pretty good season, though, 17 homers and 74 RBIs.
And his daddy, Leon Lee, broke up a no-hit game by Tom Seaver when Seaver was pitching for the Mets. Leon was playing for San Diego at the time.
Another one of the fine young stars. 1-0 count.
They run a good player for the Padres, but Derek, who got a ton of money, might be even better.
Two-0 count. Yoshii behind on Lee, who's got power. Piazza sets up outside, and that's where the pitch is. 3 balls and no strikes. Now first base is open here with Cliff Floyd on deck. Almost looked like he was pitching around. You see Yoshi's numbers at home and on the road. Overall, 3.92 earned run average. 3-0 count on Lee. See if they skip around him here. Nope. Outside corner strike he was taking. 3-1. There is Floyd waiting on deck. He's been a red-hot hitter. Comes in with a 6-game hit streak. 3-1. Yoshii outside, walked it. Well, you go away from the 0 for 14 Derek Lee with first base open and go against Cliff Floyd, who's got a 6-game hit streak. 2 on, there are 2 down. Decisions, decisions, decisions. This time of year, all so blown out of proportion in one sense, yet not in another.
And Cliff Floyd came up as a #1 draft pick of the Montreal Expos and was considered to be quite a prospect until a collision with Todd Hundley at first base. That almost ended his career.
Just took his hand off. And that one's fouled off. Strike one.
That was back in 1995. He missed 118 games. And it looked like he might never play again, but he has made quite a comeback.
It was a glove hand. He drove into Hundley as he went by and broke it. One strike count on Cliff Floyd. Floyd has gone 1 for 5 against Yoshii. The one hit a home run. 2 on and 2 down here in the first inning. Outside doing. For Yoshii, left-handers hit 269 off him with 11 homers. Right-handers 239 and 10 home runs. A big guy, and he's done some big damage against the New York Mets this season. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And again, Yoshii away to him, 2-1. And you see the warning by the home plate umpire about going to his mouth while on the mound, wetting his fingers. Apparently had not asked permission to do that, so Jerry Meals just gave him a warning not to do it.
That could cost him a ball call.
There it is. It's 3-0. The warning cost him a ball, so the count goes to 3-1 on this count.
The umpires have to give permission for pitchers to do that, and do that in cold weather. But today, a perfect day.
See the home plate umpire step out right there to give him the warning. He went to his, see, he can go to his mouth right there. 3-1 delivery. Pitchers don't like that pitch to a big home run hitter with a 3-1 count, but he got away with it.
Got away with a fastball right down the middle. The irony of going to your mouth, you can go to your mouth when you're not on the mound. You have to walk off the mound, and I guess they feel that if you're going to spit the ball, it'll dry up by the time you get back on top.
All a matter of physics, right?
That's right.
3-2 count, 2 on, 2 down. Runners will be going. Kotsay at second, Lee at first. Outside of third base, Edgardo Alfonso. The infielders will have their problems as well with the sun. Pop-ups coming out of the shadows of home plate where the batter is into the sun in a fairly high, bright sky. You see that line now cutting behind the mound, but all of the infielders, if it's in fair territory, will be in the sun on pop-ups. Fans are at it here at Shea. 3-2 first inning. You can tell the end is near to this season by the excitement here. McRae had trouble with it off the bat, finds it, glasses, has it. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. Mets coming up after this from Anderson Windows. Fired from the New York Mets by Florida in the Al Leiter deal. Jesus Sanchez, just 23 years old. He pitched 3 years of minor league ball for the New York Mets and then went over in the Leiter deal to the Marlins.
And the Mets lineup is brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer. Jay Payton will lead it off. He's in left field. Edgardo Alfonso at third base. John Olerud at first. Mike Piazza catching. Brian McRae in center. Butch Husky in right field. Luis Lopez playing second base. Ray Ordonez at shortstop. And Masato Yoshii is the pitcher.
Defensively for the Florida Marlins in the outfield, they will have Floyd, Dunwoody, and Kotsay, the big assist guy in right field with that cannon. Ori, Gonzalez, Castillo, and Lee in the infield. Randy Knorr, the catcher, with Jesus Sanchez on the mound.
Leading off for the Mets, number 25, left fielder Jay Payton.
Jay Payton is in the leadoff spot for this game to face the left-hander as Bobby Valentine gets right-handers in against Sanchez. You see the numbers that Jay Payton has put up since being called up by the New York Mets. Left fielder, made his first major league appearance 1st of September. And now in the lineup to start this game.
He has led 2 minor league teams in hitting and led the league in hitting in 2 minor league stays. He's been an outstanding prospect.
Injuries have been the problem. Goes after the first pitch outside of first. No play.
He has had the same operation that Todd Hundley had, and he's had it twice. And he's now throwing the ball well. One time they thought he might never be able to play in the major leagues.
He has got power. They were hoping he was going to be available in the lineup this year with the Mets at the major league level to provide some home run depth. Great breaking ball by Sanchez and an 0-2 count. So now Jay Payton having an opportunity to show what he can do here in a most important time for the New York Mets. And for him personally, an opportunity to set the stage for next year. Sanchez with the 0-2 count. Fastball, and he got it. Noah will have to make the throw down to first base to Lee, and he does. And Sanchez gets the strikeout. Payton retired.
Batting second, number 13.
1 away.
Alfonso.
Sanchez, basic repertoire, fastball, slider, curve, and changeup. He has real good speed, good left-hander, little sink on the fastball. He'll get some ground ball outs. And throws the ball hard. Like most young pitchers, it's a matter of location consistency this year for Sanchez, who's 7 and 8. Edgardo Alfonso against the left-hander, down and away, ball 1. Edgardo's got a 7-game hit streak coming into today's game. 77 RBIs. A lot of big late season RBIs. The Mets will keep an eye on the scoreboard. Fans were applauding this as John Nunnally has picked up a solo homer. The Reds have the early 1-0 lead at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Sammy Sosa's had 1 at-bat and has struck out. Mark McGwire, of course, had number 64 to move ahead of Sosa yet one more time, who's got 63.
Can you imagine a player hitting 64 home runs and not even sure he might win the home run championship?
And won't be the MVP, probably.
I would say that the MVP will go to Sosa. And ironically, the only reason why, if McGwire wins the home run championship, would be because of the wild card.
Amazing, huh? Alfonso takes it outside and draws the walk. So Sanchez surrenders his 83rd free pass in 157 innings. That's the problem he's had. John Olerud. Talk about a guy who's on a tear. John Olerud has had 8 hits in his last 9 at-bats. He's made only 1 out in his last 14 plate appearances, not including a sac fly. 1 out in his last 14 times to the plate.
And unfortunately for him, Larry Walker is doing about the same. Walker leads him 355 to 348 in the batting race.
Dante Bichette's at 338, and in 4th place is the guy who's coming up next. There you see the National League leaders over the last 10 days. Nobody's been hotter than Olerud. Cliff Floyd, as we said, red hot. He's 5th over the last 10. 1-0 delivery. Up high, almost got away from Noor. May have got crossed up on that. 2-0 count on Olerud. There you see Mike Piazza, with the magnificent month he's having, has moved all the way up to 4th place in the batting race.
Only one player has ever led both leagues in hitting. That was way back in the 1800s and the early part of 1900. And Olerud with an outside chance now to do the same. Delahanty, the player that has done it in both leagues. Ed Delahanty.
John Olerud's got a 2-0 count. And he's got another base hit into right field. 9 hits in his last 10 at-bats. for Mike Piazza. Batting .421 in the month of September with 6 home runs. And you watch how quiet this man's bat is at the plate right now. I don't know that I've ever seen a hitter stand as completely quiet as he's standing at the plate over the last month.
I can name one.
Go ahead.
Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio probably set hitting back 1,000 years because he was so quiet hitting. Most hitters have to be in motion. Piazza is very stationary. He swings from a very set position right to the ball, has the short swing, and he has done it all.
Fouls that one off outside of third.
Piazza has hit .352 for the Mets in 102 games with 23 home runs and 73 runs batted in. He has turned the boos right around.
There is no question he has become a hero in New York for Met fans. 1-1. Again fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Ralph, we don't, in most hitters, we see the motion of hitters to see how they get ready to pull the trigger, how they set it. With him, it's just right from where he is to the ball.
No movement at all and a very compact swing.
Tom Robson, the hitting instructor of the Mets.
He didn't teach him that. He had that before.
1-2 count. 2 on, 1 down. Inside, 2-2.
And not only does he hit the ball often, he hits it far. I don't think even McGuire hits the ball farther than he does. In Houston, he hit the ball so far, it was the longest home run ever hit there in that ballpark.
Watch the eyes. You want to see confidence in a hitter, you take a look at Mike Piazza's eyes right now. I mean, there's no strain, there's no stress. Got him. Good pitch. Sanchez has thrown a couple of nasty breaking balls down and in. Big strikeout.
And this was a breaking ball breaking down and in out of the strike zone. And Piazza chased it. It's hard enough to hit when pitches are in the strike zone, but impossible when they're there.
Gets a huge out. 23-year-old left-hander will take on Brian McRae. You don't think he's got something to prove? That man right there? Mets organization was willing to let him go. We've talked about that before. When you come back to face the guys, you thought someone else was better than you were. There's a point to be made. You can make it.
You don't need that Andro to get pumped up.
No, nothing. 1-0 count. 2 on, 2 down now. And McRae takes it inside. Knorr thought about throwing down to second base that time. He had Castillo moving over to cover, but Knorr did not handle the pitch cleanly. They might have even had a play on that time. I think they had Alfonso off second base by a good deal because Castillo had moved to the bag almost on the pitch. 2-0 count. Sanchez falling behind again here. Comes in with a fastball, 2-1. Outfield straight away on Brian McRae. Continues his career season for Brian. Only .220 here in the month of September with a couple of home runs, but all season long every hit he's had has been a big one. Speed delivery is in for a strike. High changeup right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez out of the Dominican Republic was not drafted and was signed by the New York Mets as an undrafted free agent back in 1992. 2-2 delivery in the dirt again. Norris had a busy day already behind the plate in the first inning. 3-2. But if a catcher can do that, stop those pitches, then the pitcher feels confident in throwing those breaking balls down in the dirt. And that's what he got Piazza on.
He has made 8 ball pitches so far this year. He also has balked 5 times.
Three ball, 2 strike count again, 2 down. Runners will go. Outside, bases loaded.
Batting 6, number 42.
So the Mets get a chance early with 2 down. Jimmy Leland's club struggled all year long, especially in the pitching department. They are dead last in ERA. Now the Mets have got Edgardo Alfonso on at first, Olerud on at second, McRae at first. Butch Husky with 2 away. Ball 1. Husky getting more playing time down the stretch for the Mets once getting back. RBI opportunity here. 1-0 delivery to him. Foul back, 1-1. Butch, of course, has had to share time since coming back in right field. Lenny Harris has been playing spectacularly well. Another one of the Met heroes here late in the season. One ball, 1 strike delivery. Off speed, real good changeup by Sanchez. Jimmy Leyland was saying before the game about Sanchez that when Sanchez is confident and is thinking about the ball game, he knows how to pitch. It's when he loses his focus and starts throwing just fastballs down the middle, you're going to run into trouble. He's done that this year. 1-2 down to third. He's got a base hit off Orr's glove. Alfonso scores. Olerud will score. McRae to third and an RBI double. Butch Husky with 2 runs batted in.
Well, a smile on Husky's face as he comes up with a big base hit with 2 men out and drives in the first 2 runs of the game. He gets out in front of this ball. It's a breaking ball off-speed pitch and just off the glove of Ori, the third baseman, and that gave the Mets the extra run.
Now still 2 in scoring position, cheering from the dugout. And Lopez takes a strike on the inside corner. Louis Lopez in the lineup to get that right-handed bat on against the left-hander. Right-handers have touched up Sanchez. 285 for right-handers, 240 left-handers. That's why Bobby Valentine got Payton, got Husky, got Lopez in the lineup to do damage off this left-hander. Two in scoring position, a 2-strike count on Lopez. The switch hitter's gone on the off-speed pitch. So Sanchez strikes the side out, but the Mets pick up a couple of runs. They leave 2 on. They're up back after this from Mazda.
And yes, so those 2 runs as the Mets take the lead in the first inning.
Sanchez giving up the bases loaded double to Butch Husky after a big walk to Alfonso, who scored. 2 walks in the inning and 3 strikeouts for Jesus Sanchez. Great to have you with us here this Saturday afternoon. We'll be right back with you tomorrow as the New York Mets continue the chase. Tomorrow afternoon we'll be on the air at 1:30. And it will be Brian Meadows against Al Leiter, who goes for his 17th win. And it's going to be our last broadcast on WWOR for the year.
Hard to believe.
It is. Yoshii, Ori, Knorr, and Gonzalez will face him. He walked one, struck out one in the first inning. Kevin Ori hitting just .219 on the year. Powers that one. McRae has no idea. Brian McRae saying, please help me. He never saw it. Never saw it, and will get a break. It's a ground rule double. If that ball stays in, it's a triple, but Brian McRae saw nothing of that ball coming off the bat. He had problems with a fly ball that Floyd hit that picked it up late, but that time he saw none of it. Oh.
Right off the bat, he never picks the ball up, and now looking for help. No chance there. Unfortunately, the grounds rule double, or the runner would have been on third base. He doesn't know where it is even now. There it is.
So a double, leadoff double, picked up by Ori at second base. The second hit for the Marlins. That one drilled to right field is going to be an extra base hit into the corner by Knorr. That will score Ori. Into second base with the RBI double is Randy Knorr. And the Marlins now trail by just one. Does everything get blown up at this time of the year? Even balls into the sun.
Well, the sun a factor, but it's a factor for both sides. And in this case, an RBI for Knorr, his 11th of the year. He was hitting .209 before that base hit.
He's got a 7-game hit streak going now. He and Ori have both had long seasons, but are finishing strong. Ori scores. Third hit off Yoshii. Now Alex Gonzalez. Runner at second. Fastball inside to him for a ball. Well, the Marlins come right back here, pick up one of the 2 runs that the Mets have taken the lead with, and now the potential tying runs at second base. 1 for 4 in the first game of this series for Alex Gonzalez. He was recalled the end of September, played AAA ball virtually the entire year. 2-0 delivery, and that one's fouled off. End of August, rather. He came back up. He hit .277 at AAA. He's got good speed and pretty good pop. He had 10 homers, 10 triples at the AAA level. This is a Florida organization, has a number of players that play a lot alike. They tend not to be too big. Smaller players with great speed, good defensive players, pretty good gap hitters. 2-1. He showed bunt, takes it down low. 3-1.
Now, why would you bunt in front of the pitcher? Pitcher is due up next. That run at second base, a tying run. He's played baseball, but not the right kind of baseball.
Fans are cheering Cincinnati as they have added on a Sean Casey 2-run triple to their lead, and the Reds have a 3-0 lead. Since August 7, the Mets and Cubs have never been separated by more than 1 game. 3-1 delivery. Foul back, 3-2, and Alex Gonzalez. There's every reason to believe through the rest of this season, one more week, they may not be separated by more than 1 game.
Both teams with 7 games, including this game, for both the Cubs and the Mets for the rest of the year.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Gonzalez. Nobody out. Knorr at second base. One thing to remember as we go into the final week, you don't have to win the wild card outright. If you get a tie, you get another day. I mean, both teams don't want that, but you can come away with a tie and still have that one playoff game for the wild card spot.
And the playoff will be here at Shea City.
That's one, the flip of the coin. 3-2 delivery by Yoshii, and he walked him. Second walk.
Well, that's a big walk right there because now the pitcher can bunt.
Batting ninth, number 21, pitcher
So with nobody
Jesus
out, 2 on.
Sanchez.
They'll make sure with the pitcher, Jesus Sanchez, coming up. Rich Donnelly, the third base coach, talking with the hitter while Alfonso talks to Yoshii on the defensive coverage.
Donnelly, one of the very astute baseball men around. And also very glib.
Bobby Valentine has sent out the defensive play here. It will be used. Sanchez has 3 sacrifice bunts this year. He's had 6 hits and 47 at-bats, including a triple. Up high, ball 1. Mets charging hard here. Alfonso's trying to stay back at third base so they can get the force out. John Olerud is really charging from first base to try and be able to field the ball so he can make the play to Alfonso. Trying to get that lead runner, Knorr, who is not a fast runner. Bunted, great bunt by Sanchez. Forces Alfonso to field it over to Lopez. That's a perfect sacrifice right there by Sanchez.
Second baseman.
He gets the 2 runners moved up with 1 away.
Well, the idea is to make the third baseman field the ball, and Sanchez certainly did that. Perfect bunt right here as Alfonso has to come in, make the play to first base. The runners will move up. And now the batter will be the leadoff batter for Florida with 2 runs in scoring position.
Every game a battle. 2 in scoring position, 1 down. See if the Mets infield moves in here. They're halfway. Maybe charging on the pitch. Castillo, 207 hitter. They come in on the right. Ordonez stays back. Alfonso is in anyway. Castillo grounded out his first time up. Wheels are turning, and we're only in the 2nd inning. Again, the infield in except for Ray Ordonez. That means Castillo, by the scouting reports, hits a lot of ground balls towards short.
When you play for Bobby Valentine, it's like the New York Thruway. He has more signs than any manager in the game.
2-0 count on Castillo. Castillo, 222 with runners in scoring position, and it's ball 3. Yoshii looked in a little longer on that one, thought might have had that call. There's no time to waste here at this part of the year, so Willie Blair is already up in the bullpen here in the 2nd inning. Castillo, see if he takes here with a 3-0 count. Infield in. He does, and it's a strike. That's on top 2-1, but their lead threatened here in the 2nd inning. Three-1 delivery. Breaking ball there. Come back by Yoshii, 3-2.
That was a good pitch right there. A split finger fastball on the 3-1 count. You can't do much better than that.
Three-2. Castillo, shallow right, tagging up at third is Knorr, not fast. Husky makes the catch. Knorr fakes. He'll stay at third.
I'm surprised they didn't send the runner there. Husky was fairly deep, not known for a exceptionally strong arm, a good arm, to throw up the line, and the runner is held to third base.
Early in a game, you would think the Marlins would take the chance. Husky looks like he may have hurt himself. He slipped. He may have pulled that hammy again.
He sure acts like he did something to himself.
Yeah, he's hurt. Cookie Rojas looking out there. Husky's hurt. You see Mookie Wilson also looking out. 2 down. Here's Dunwoody. Now Dunwoody's a left-handed hitter. He puts one down there towards Husky. Can Husky go get it?
Yeah, you don't want to be a hero in this spot. If you're hurt, you should call time and have the trainer come out.
Could have been a hamstring or a groin pull out there, but the way he fell down and the way he got up, obviously that left hamstring has been the problem for him this year. 1-0 count. Big hitter here early in the game. Dunwoody a strikeout victim. 2 in scoring position and 2 away. Yoshii got it in, grounded to second. Louis Lopez has it, and that'll do it. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 are left in scoring position. Back after this from Pizza Hut. Husky asked by the trainer when he came in if he was okay, said yes. You see another pair of shoes in his hand. See, he's saying how he slipped. When he went to throw, he slipped. And clearly, at least felt a little pinch in that hamstring out there. And now deciding whether or not he wants to change foot gear before he goes back out.
Here's the throw by Husky, and as he throws the ball, his front foot slips out. He goes down to the ground. The throw is a 1-bounce good throw. And the runner was held at third base by Rich Donnelly. So Husky okay. Might have to go to another pair of shoes.
Because it's hard enough to get in the lineup, Ralph. He doesn't want to come out.
That's true. He's had a tough time. That pulled muscle and sidelined for quite a bit of time.
Sanchez working here against Ray Ordonez.
Here's another shot of him throwing the ball and slipping to the ground. When you're trying to throw the ball hard, that's not abnormal to go down to the ground.
But he's going to stay in. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Ordonez, Yoshii, the top of the order. Jay Payton against the left-hander. Line to short. Great play, Gonzalez. He had it lined up. Makes the nice play. Good movement off the bat by Gonzalez.
One thing about baseball that has changed dramatically, and that is the gloves used by the players today. The old gloves who couldn't make catches like this. But the gloves today are so big and are so flexible that you can make that one-hand grab all the time.
Pliability of gloves really is amazing. You can take them and tie them in knots.
It's unreal.
So they really become a part of a fielder's hand.
To get a good pocket going back to the 40s, you used to take a ball and fold it in your glove and tie rubber bands around it and soak it in water, in a pail of water for days, just to get a pocket. Now they're all made, they're brand new and they're perfect.
They used to use that old linseed oil.
Oh yeah, I had to do that.
Put it out in the shed for the whole winter with a baseball in it.
Linseed oil or knee foot something down. Yeah.
Masato Yoshii 1-2 delivery to him, and Sanchez has his 4th strikeout and 2 down. Two-1 ball game. The Mets on top. Sanchez 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and Jay Payton, one of those strikeout victims, will stand in. Breaking balls in there for a strike. Sanchez coming off a good game against Atlanta. 7+ innings, gave up 5 runs, 5 hits, and was a winner, 6-5 winner in that game. 0-1 delivery. It's interesting. Here are the Florida Marlins, devastated, former world champions, brought to a real emptiness. Yet they've gone 5-5 against the Mets and against Atlanta. So the 2 best teams in the division they play 500 ball against. They've not won a game against Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and San Francisco on the year. They went 0-9 against each of those 3 teams.
It used to be in a 154-game season and 8 teams in each league that you would play 22 games with each team in the season.
home plate. This will be trouble. Ori, no play.
Third baseman, Eduardo Alfonso.
Infield single, hit number 3 for the Mets.
Payton has excellent speed, and there was no chance at all for Ori here. That ball is a Baltimore chop, named after the Baltimore infield in the 1800s that was real hard, and the batters actually tried to bounce the ball on the ground in front of home plate.
The other number we haven't mentioned on Sanchez, Ralph, is that he leads the majors in pickoffs. 12 pickoffs. Be careful.
That means he blocks a lot, and he's blocked 5 times.
So his move is real close. Yoshii doing work on his footwear. Up high with it. Edgardo Alfonso drew a walk and scored in the first inning. Alfonso, 7-game hit streak, checking down at third with Payton on at first base. 2 for 4 in the opener of this series for Edgardo. High heat.
Sanchez with 12 pickoffs, leading by 2 in the National League. And Leland, the manager of the Marlins, has the first baseman off the bag. He was the first manager to do this, and he did it about 3 years ago. I still don't understand why.
Bobby Valentine, of course, has employed that all year with John Olerud at first base, playing off the bag in front of the runner and jockeying back and forth with the base runner.
It complicates the defense tremendously, and the movement of the first baseman is very difficult to output.
3-1. There is Jimmy Leland. Whether he'll be in a Marlins uniform next year, very much in question. 3-1 delivery. Strike on the outside corner. Marlins got the Marlins clause in Leland's contract is if they change ownership, Jimmy Leland has a right to get out of the remaining 2 years of his contract and go elsewhere. They are changing ownership. There'll be a new owner next week. When they go home, Jimmy Leland will be meeting with the new owner to discuss whether or not he's going to be returning. Dodgers are interested. Runner goes, and he walked it. 2 on for the Mets.
Leland worked as a construction bricklayer when he was out of baseball. And they asked him if he thought it'd be tough running this ball club this year with all the stars gone. He said it would be a piece of cake compared to laying brick.
Has a perspective, doesn't he? Now the Mets call on their leading hitter again, John Olerud. 88 runs batted in. John, who now has 9 hits in his last 10 at-bats, delivered a single in the first inning. Average now at .349. And Olerud all year long, great with runners on. .305 with runners in scoring position. That one down low to him. 2-0. That some pretty decent consistency in the second half when John used to tire a bit. This year even better.
He led the American League, hitting .363 for Toronto.
And he's got another one. He's hit to right. Masato with a great arm. Throws over to third. They don't cut it off. It hits the base runner and goes into the dugout. The ball hit Edgardo Alfonso. All the way to third goes John Olerud.
And Alfonso had stopped. He knew he was going to be out, and fortunately for him, it hits him. Another base hit for Olerud. 10 hits in his last 11 at-bats, and the throw goes to third base. There he stops, the ball hits him, goes into the dugout, and the Mets get another run. And you wonder why the Mets are going to win this year? There's a good reason for it right there.
Mike Piazza, John Olerud, an RBI. The other one comes in as the ball went off Alfonso. The error, there is an error charge to Kotze on the throw, allowing that second run to score.
And that certainly wasn't his fault,
no.
But it has to be charged.
Piazza takes it down low. So the baseball gods return a favor. Brian McRae lost the ball in the sun in the second. That ended up resulting in a run for Florida. Here, the ball hits the runner who had stopped. If he keeps going, he's probably out at third base. And I think the reason he stopped, Ralph, Edgardo Alfonso wanted to make sure that the runner ahead of him had crossed the plate. So he was going to get caught in a rundown if he had to make sure the run scored.
That's a good call, Gary. There's no doubt about that. I believe he actually did think that way. He's that kind of a player.
That, to be able to think about that in that situation tells you something about why everyone is so impressed with the innate knowledge Edgardo Alfonso has about this game. 3-ball, 1-strike count. A big play by Alfonso. Mets have a 4-1 lead. Piazza gets away. Olerud will stay at third. No chance to score on that. It's a walk to Piazza. So we told you Sanchez's problem, the strike zone. And he's already walked 4. He's also struck out 4. A typical kind of game for him. Runners at first and third. Mets doing this with 2 down, remember. Jay Payton got that Baltimore chop base hit off the plate with 2 away. Alfonso the walk. And then Olerud's base hit, an RBI, and the error charged on the throw to Kotze. Now Brian McRae. Strike 1. Four runs, 4 hits for the Mets, 4-1 lead. He's got another RBI chance. Breaking ball missed inside, 1-1.
Alfonso doing a act at third base that got the Mets at least 1 more run.
McRae towards second. Backhanded. Castillo will go to first and get the out. But the Mets come away with a couple more runs. Heads up play Alfonso. Back after this from Dodge. Discussion with Rich Doobie as he came into the dugout. The young 23-year-old learning. Pitching coach. Another one of the situations we see so often now in Major League Baseball. This is a young pitcher who should have his time in the minors. They don't have time. They got to have him here. So he's learning on the job at the Major League level. Mets have the 4-1 lead. Kotze, who had a double, leads it off. Lee and Floyd will follow against Yoshii. Batting .278 on the year for this left-handed hitter. Yoshii a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Kotze now with an 8-game hit streak. Took care of that in a hurry. He's second among rookies in runs, stolen bases, and hits. And third in rookie batting average coming into this game today. By the way, Sammy Sosa's 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts at Wrigley. Cincinnati leading the Cubs 3-0. 1-2 delivery. Kotze inside out. It'll stay 1-2.
Kotze is certainly one of the bright prospects, but just because you have a lot of talent in college or in the minor leagues doesn't mean that you can make it in the majors. Sosu is 0 for 2 in this ball game with the Cubs. Never hit 20 home runs in the minor leagues.
Amazing. He's 0 for 6 now in that series against Cincinnati. And strike 3. Yoshii going back to the outside corner. Second strikeout.
First baseman Derek Lee.
Well, this is a fastball that blows right on through there on the outside corner for a called strike. That's the second strikeout for Yoshii. Yoshii won 73 games and lost 51 in the Japanese league while pitching there.
Derek Lee. Yoshii's overall pro mark, including the Japanese league, 73 wins and 51 losses. 5 and 8 this year with the Mets. 0-1 delivery to Lee. Outside corner again, 0-2. For those who may have missed it last night because it was a very late game, a huge loss for Anaheim in their race in the American League. 12 innings. Seattle beat them 5-3. David Segui, an RBI double in the 12th inning, won it. Wow. 3 strikeouts, 2 in a row for Yoshii. 2 down, no one on here in the third. Looks like Yoshii may have been talked to or decided on his own. I got a 4-1 lead. Time to throw some strikes. He's coming right at him.
He has been a real surprise and a pleasant surprise for the Mets. Even though he has not rung up a lot of good decisions, he has pitched solid baseball.
2 down. Took something off that one to Cliff Floyd. Floyd flied out his first time up. Texas won their ball game yesterday, coupled with a loss. Texas Rangers have now moved 2 games ahead of Anaheim for the Western Division title in the American League. Both teams play tonight. Missed outside with that one, 1-1.
And ironically, Texas or California can't win the wild card race. So they have to win it right there in their division to get in the playoffs.
They play each other 3 times this coming week in Anaheim. Foul back again. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Floyd.
You know, the wild card has been really a great thing for baseball. And very few people thought it was going to be any good. But it has really made a big difference all the way around.
Certainly has created interest where it would not have been otherwise. 2 down, bases are empty. Yoshii trying to strike the side up. Boston now back in good position for the wild card spot in the American League.
Toronto having that great run and then falling back, as did Baltimore. So Boston in pretty good shape right now.
Again, Yoshii with a 1-2. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Waiting on the 2-2 delivery. For Yoshii, he beat the Marlins in May 8-2. He gave up just 2 runs on 5 hits and 6 innings in that game. And then he pitched again against them on June 12 and did not have a decision in a 4-3 loss. He gave up again just 2 runs on 5 hits over 5 1/3. The Mets playing .500 against Florida this year. 2-2 pitch. Floyd, a tapper towards the middle, and he's got the bouncing base hit. So Floyd, a 7-game hit streak for him now as he battled tough on that at bat. Fell behind early. Comes away with the 4th Marlins hit. 2 down.
Floyd in that collision with Hundley at first base had 6 of 8 bones in his left wrist either broken or dislocated. and he has made some comeback from that injury back in 1995.
Sure doesn't look like it's affected his swing. He swings hard. 22 home runs this year. Kevin Ory. Ory picked up a double and scored, leading off the second inning. Ory's hitting over 300 now over the last 34 games. Just 221 on the season. He was acquired from the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs really were high on him last year. Just decided time to make a move this year. Fastball inside, missed 1-1.
And the man who replaced him at third base, Gary Gaetti, is having a great year for the Cubs.
Felt they needed a veteran both for in the clubhouse and on the field to make a drive, and Ed Lynch and company in Chicago, it's proven to be a very valuable deal for them.
He has made more of a contribution in the last month of the Cubs than Sammy Sosa.
Yep.
He has hit some dramatic home runs.
1-1 strike count. Runner goes. Fouled off by Ory. Floyd will come back. A lot of Met associations in this playoff year. Jerry Hunsinger, former assistant GM here at New York, now GM in Houston. Eddie Lynch, former assistant GM here in New York, now GM in Chicago.
And Hunsinger making that deal for Randy Johnson. Johnson 9-1 for Houston.
1 ball, 2 strike count on Ory. Yoshii still with a chance to strike the side out here. Didn't go around on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yes, we did. Is he in there? Is he in the truck asking for that?
2 balls, 2 strikes on Ory. Just missed inside. Yoshi's got a habit, and he did it again right there, and he's done it. I've counted 3 times already in this game, of staring in at the home plate umpire after a pitch where he wants a strike. Piazza's saying something right now to Jerry Meals, but Piazza keeps his head turned towards the plate, towards the pitching mound. Floyd's going to be going here in 3-2.
Yeah, you don't want to get picked up on the 3-2 count. You're going to be moving anyway. It's not a steal, it's not a hit and run. But you have to be in motion, but you don't want to be picked up.
3-2, runner going, and off the bat handle, Reardonia. No runs ahead. 1 left on. Back after this from
Day off on his birthday.
He has earned the right, don't you think?
He has joined the modern day ball players, announcers, sports writers. And Bob is not here today. He's celebrating his birthday with joy, and I hope they're having a great time.
Happy birthday, Murph. Gary and Ed working over there. Gary Cohen.
My wife gave me a birthday card for Bob in California the other day when I was coming here. Guess what? I forgot to bring it.
Well, at least some things don't change.
Things don't change though.
Murph did take the day off, but you kept the consistency going by forgetting the card.
That's right.
Then the pitch is taken down low, 1-1 to Husky.
More things change, the more they stay the same.
That's right. Butch Husky with a 1-1 strike count. A big 2 RBI double his first time up. 59 ribbies on the season now for the Mets right fielder. One ball, 2 strike count. And Husky on that breaking ball taken out of there, and that'll be the 5th strike. strikeout for.
We're now to the stem cell transplant, which should cure.
Wonderful news. Shallow center field. Lopez fly ball caught. Good play by Kotze. He was the only one who really saw that. Came all the way over from right on here at Shea. 2 down, bases empty, and Ray Ordonez, who lined out his first time up. You see that sun in center. That's, as Ralph said, the sun field for the moment.
This time of year, the sun is really an important factor in baseball games and will be through the month of October.
And a line drive base hit, Ray Ordonez. Floyd up with it. Ordonez 1 for 2, and he gets the pitcher to the plate here in the third inning. That's now with 5 hits off Jesus Sanchez. Much stronger offensive second half, average-wise, for Ray Ordonez.
Those numbers in the second half are the numbers they want to see out of Ordonez. And he has changed his batting approach, and it has helped a lot.
Yoshii struck out. First time to the plate, 3 for 46 for Yoshii at the plate this year. Strike taken, 0-2. Two down, 4-1. Mets on top in the third. And that will be it for Yoshii. 6 strikeouts picked up by Sanchez in the game. Resulted in one of the Mets' runs. Fans were just applauding wildly here at Shea. The reason right there. Cincinnati on a John Nunley 3-run homer have taken a 7-0 lead. Mark Clark, former Met, started for the Cubs, was pulled out of that game before that home run. Nunley may be voted an honorary member of the Mets before it's over. He's having a big day at Wrigley Field. Cubs are 1 game ahead in the wild card race. Yoshii working with a 4-1 lead. Noor, Gonzalez, and Sanchez bottom third of the order for the Marlins. And Noor fouls that one off. Randy Noor delivered an RBI double, 7-game hit streak in the second inning.
Tell me something, Gary. You're an authority on names.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he pronounce his name like Bobby Cannot?
Canor?
Yeah, Canor.
You got me on that one, Ralph.
Knobloch.
And a strike taken. Noor's a veteran. He's been around both minor league and pro ball for a while, and one of those guys he's a good defensive catcher. He's always been a decent hitter, someone that ball clubs like to have. He's not on their major league team, at least around the roster. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 2 strikes.
And he's one of those players that got a chance to catch a little bit more with Charles Johnson being traded away by the Marlins to the Dodgers. Johnson recognized as the best defensive catcher in baseball.
Now they're talking about bringing him back to Florida in the offseason, trying to work a deal out with the Dodgers. 0-2 delivery, fouled off again. Johnson has not had a good year in Los Angeles. It's not really settled in there as part of that organization very well, according to people around the Dodgers.
He had gone for almost forever without making an error behind the plate or making a pass ball or whatever. This year it's changed. Hollywood doesn't agree with him.
0-2 deliveries inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Todd, a young player coming off a championship team going to an organization in a complete changeover situation. I mean, he left one that was changing over for another changing over. 1-2 delivery, fouled off.
Well, the Dodgers are in a position now. They have some real moves to make. They got Bonilla, they got Sheffield, big money makers not having good years.
Mondesio says he won't play center.
It's really a struggle now for the new GM.
Yachts, of course, gone and not likely to go back to the Dodgers, I don't think. 1-2 delivery off The ground and then off his leg.
Well, their troubles really started with the trading of Piazza. And they didn't save money by doing it.
They did give up a lot of offense. Yoshi's more than happy about that. That he and Piazza are here together in Met uniforms this year. 1-2 count on Noor, hitting .227. And he's gone. Yoshii got him to chase 4 strikeouts. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser Brewery. Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Alex Gonzalez coming up with one away and nobody on. Gonzalez threw a walk, one of 2 given up by Yoshii so far. And he's got himself a base hit. Had that one time. Gonzalez is on. Picks up the single with one away with the pitcher. Sanchez coming up.
Gonzalez has been on 2 times now, a walk and a base hit, and is in a position here to use the pitcher to bunt. Although Sanchez is not a bad hitter.
Sanchez laid down a perfect bunt his first time up, a sacrifice when there were 2 runners on.
He's showing bunt. That's a decoy, maybe. And it was.
He hit right-handed the first time.
Boy, that should be a tip-off right there.
He hit right-handed and bunted down to third. Now he's batting left-handed.
And he was showing the bunt on the early decoy, and then was going to swing away. And of course, the Mets pitching out discovered what the plan might be. Again, he does the same thing.
1-0, pulls it back, and the switch-hitting pitcher pops it up. Ray Ordonez in foul territory, 2 down.
Well, you can't trust the manager. That's one thing we found out. Jim Leland, the manager of the Marlins, a exceptionally good manager, he came up the hard way. They asked him one time, he got a limo to go to the ballpark, and they said, is that the first time he took a limo to the ballpark? He says, yes, if you don't count the time I was driving the limo for the mortuary.
He's made his way around in professions.
Boy, he has had a long struggle in the minor leagues before becoming a coach in the major leagues and then an excellent manager.
I really think he would fit in L.A. to a T.
Well, he's good.
They've got talent. They really need, and nothing against Glenn Hoffman, but a veteran leader as a manager out there could make a world of difference for the Dodgers.
He's a real good friend to Tony La Russa, who is also an excellent manager.
Oh, that hurt.
They asked him one time how he got along with Tony, and he says, fine. And he says, well, you're about as smart as he is. He says, no, he passed the bar exam and is an attorney. He says, there was a time in my career early when I nearly passed every bar, but not all of them. He is really something else.
1 ball, 1 strike on Castillo. Tries to regroup after fouled that one directly off the leg. Yoshii over to first. Gonzalez there with 2 down. Jimmy's wife Katie on hand here in New York with her husband here as they wrap up this road trip. 1-1 delivery up high. 2-1. That's another reason why I think Leila will not be in Florida. Katie, his wife, just did not like it there and moved back to Pittsburgh at the end of last year. And Jimmy Leland being separated for any length of time from his wife and family hates him. I mean, absolutely detests him. They are number 1 in his life.
Second to his wife, who is a lovely girl.
Runner goes, fouled off.
There are a lot of good golf courses in Florida, and that's his other love. He loves to play golf. Gets up early, I mean really early, to play around the golf almost every day.
Good golf courses around L.A., aren't there, Ron?
Yeah, there are a few. I think that might be a consideration.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Mets on top, 4-1, fourth inning.
He gets up so early in the morning to play that nobody will play with him. He plays by himself.
2-2. Runner not going. Fouled it off again. This time at least he got the ball into the dirt before it hit him.
Of course, when you play by yourself, you can shoot any score you want.
But they have great games.
He says, that's good. He's okay.
No one has to sign your card. 2-2 count, 2 down. Castillo in a tough at-bat here. Battling Yoshii. He's only struck out 31 times, drawing 19 walks. Runner goes. Strike call! And the throw won't matter. 5 strikeouts for Yoshii. No runs, a base hit, 1 left on. Mets up. Back to Shea after this from Toyota. Giving this ball club that has won more one-run games than anyone, 34. Battling back to come from behind wins. Jesus Sanchez against Jay Payton. Payton 1 for 2 with a single. Inside corner strike, 1-1. Sammy Sosa's not had a home run today at Wrigley. 1 behind Mark McGwire. McGwire will be playing in Milwaukee in a night game tonight. Fastball is inside. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Payton. Our nobody beats the Wiz National League scoreboard. The Cubs have picked up a couple, but late in the game. Giants are all but out of it, even though they're winning. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Payton. The Cardinal Brewer game tonight. Braves will be looking for their 100th win. Our Toyota American League scoreboard. Tigers won today. Orioles beat the Yankees. 2-2 to Payton to center field. Dunwoody. The American League picture much clearer now. And the breaking ball misses down low. 1-0 count on Edgardo Alfonzo. Alfonzo has drawn 2 walks and scored twice. Mets have had a 2 RBI double by Butch Husky, an RBI single by John Olerud, and Alfonzo held up at third going in. Ball hit him, rolled into the dugout. Error charge to Kotze, and he scored on that error. 2-1 count.
And the reason being that he held up, and we surmise this, but I think it's true. He was trying to keep him being tagged out before the runner crossed home plate. And the ball hit him and went into the dugout, and the Mets got an extra run out of that.
The only run picked up by Florida came on an Ori double to lead off an inning when the ball was lost in the sun by McRae in center, and Noah brought him home. Count stays at 2-2. Cubs and Mets needed a playoff game. It would be a week from Monday right here at Shea. Strike 3 called. Inside corner. That's 7.
And at one time in the Mets organization.
John Olerud. How long can you keep this going? Olerud's got 2 singles and an RBI, 10 hits in his last 11 at-bats for John Olerud. Well, you can keep it up one more at-bat. Unbelievable! John Olerud is 3 for 3. 11 for his last 12.
Well, John is a almost cinch to set the all-time batting average record for the New York Mets. Leon Jones hit .340 back in 1969. Olerud has that almost locked up.
My, oh my. Mike Piazza struck out and walked. 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. Takes the pitch inside for a ball. 352 with the 3 for 3. Chasing Larry Walker at 355 at the start of the day. Colorado plays at San Diego tonight. Strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walker had been on the DL, came off red hot, re-injured himself, and has been in and out of the Colorado lineup over the last week. Mets with a 4-1 lead here in the 4th inning. 2 down. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Piazza. Sanchez has given up 18 home runs, and 17 of them have been hit by right-handers. Mike's almost got the mutton chops going. Those sideburns.
Yeah, and he has left out of it. He's already got it going there. Good.
3-1. And he walked it. Well, Piazza's drawn 2 walks in the game. Out of respect for that torrid bat he's got going. 5 walks by Sanchez. The Mets mounted a 2. Bobby Valentine has continued to say he thinks this Met, Brian McRae, has been the MVP of the ball club this year. Pretty strong statement when you've got the likes of Piazza and Olerud. Of course, Piazza's not been here for the whole year. But McRae has had huge hits all year long for the Mets inside. That's why most of the season, and you look at his average and compare it to his RBIs, they really don't seem to fall in place. 78 runs batted in to go with a batting average hovering around the 268 mark right now.
All-time high in RBIs and home runs in his career.
Second baseman Castillo's up with it. That will retire McRae. No runs, a base hit. A couple left on by the Mets. They've got the 3-1 lead. Back after this from your Tri-State Ford dealers.